Paul, hard lines, how do you begin to assess this afternoon's game?
Difficult one. We knew it was going to be a really tight and probably a scrappy game. We were very unfortunate knowing what we knew going into the week with Icofano having a sore groin and not really being fit. We went with the 3 players that passed fitness tests, but they all had to come off. So that was a gamble that perhaps didn't pay off. But it was always going to be, a scrappy game on a very narrow pitch. But as I said just earlier there, I think that they just had the edge on the whole game, and I would pay great credit to our 10 men. I thought when we went down to 10, it looked like the 10 then actually played better and put even more effort in. So, listen, it's a massive disappointment for the players, I think, because it's their opportunity. My job, as I said all along, is to try and get us out of this league. But this was a great chance for them, and unfortunately, we've not taken it.
It was a game with fine margins, as obviously we found out towards the end there. It was always felt like it was only be one goal that would win the game.
Yeah, and you're looking at maybe, and I said this earlier on in the week, maybe it might be one bit of quality. Someone who picks the ball up and strikes it 25 yards. But at the end of the day, we're down in numbers, and the centre half's got above us, headed the ball, and another loopy header. And it's a shame for Ross Warner, because I thought he was outstanding for us today. I thought Ross, on 3 or 4 occasions, made great saves to keep us in it. And obviously when Theo Widgington hit the post, I think from one of his saves actually, that was, that's probably our best chance of the afternoon.
You felt we grow into the game?
I was always looking at the game, feeling that with the pace they had in their wide areas, they're decent, their front 3. And I never felt comfortable in the game. The most comfortable I felt was when we got to extra time. It looked like we'd weathered any storm, and it actually looked as though, and we nearly got him in the last steps. Joe better touch there from the ball from Tom, and the equaliser could have come. But I think overall, we all knew this was going to be a tough place to come and get a positive result. But as I said, I think the players will feel really disappointed because it was their opportunity to get into round 3.
Ross was outstanding today between the sticks. He picked up a little bit of an injury towards the end.
Yeah, listen, we picked up probably 5 or 6. At the end we had to change systems 3 or 4 times in the game just to try and see us through it. And Theo Widgington has come on and come off. Billy Clifford, Craig Robson, Ross Warner, and there's a couple of others in there that are that are injured. So be a head count on Tuesday. But obviously we get Kedwell back, which is good. We get Puku back as well, and then it's time to look at other players that now deserve a chance.
I know that we've spoken about ourselves, but I know you've also wanted to congratulate Marine on their victory.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I think they edged it on the day. I mean, it was a tight game, but they've edged that, and I hope they really get a good draw. I think they deserve a good draw as well. What they've done to be a step or level 8 team is phenomenal. And as I said, if you're being honest with yourself, they probably just edged it today. But this is not an easy place to come. I think the 10 men is where I'd like to concentrate my praise at the moment, because I think that they put a real shift in for the club and for themselves, and we just were a minute short of seeing it out. And then penalties is, with Ross Warner in goal, we fancied ourselves.
I know it's hard to possibly analyse now, but now we're out. How would you analyse this year's FA Cup run? Second round for only the second time in the club's
talked
history.
about it. We talked about it this morning. Myself, the chairman, and Stuart Munro, the CEO, and the players have made the club £100,000, and that's not to be sniffed at. This is why we said to him this morning, you've done your bit for the club, this is now the opportunity for you. And for me, I've had that experience of the Sutton United Cup run. So, as I said, it's rare you experience something twice. So I was hoping more for the players' sake that they got through and the supporters' sake, because it'd been brilliant. From my point of view, if there is an upside, it's the fact that we can now concentrate on the league, because quite frankly, we're already too far behind. I think come Wednesday we'll be seven games behind a lot of teams, and it's a massive amount to try and catch up. So, listen, no one wanted to go out, but ultimately, I've got to look at a positive, and that will be that on January the 9th we're playing another league game, and then the sort of the whole press bit that won't be coming. I think everyone will forget about Havant and Waterlooville now, and we go back to the obscurity of being a National South team, and that's probably what we need if we're going to launch a challenge to get in that top 7 this year.
And the games do come thick and fast. We play Hemel on Wednesday.
I think we've got 10 games in something like 29 days. And the biggest problem of today is not only losing, but knowing that we've got 4 or 5 in the dressing room that are going to be out. So it's not been a good football day in that sense. I always use that analogy 90-10, but been around a long time to know when you've got to take the 90s on the chin. But we need a response for Wednesday. As I said, it'll be different personnel, purely because of fatigue and injury. I mean, Magri, as you know, was unwell all day yesterday and all night. He was struggling with cramp from about 60 minutes onwards. So we've had a fair bit to contend with in that game, including trying to change shape 3 or 4 times and just trying to get a balance that worked. But Straker being sent off as well was, I mean, it was a killer for us really. And having been booked once, I'd need to see it again. But was it a soft first yellow, soft second yellow? Yeah, I think it probably was.
Of course, with the game being on Wednesday, it's a short turnaround to pick the players up for what is going to be a big game.
Yeah, but that's mine and Birdie's job. I think that, as I said, not a lot needs to be said today because everyone's disappointed. The players amongst themselves have had a bit of a go and a chat, but for us it's about getting them in Tuesday, picking out the positives of the cup run, but also making sure that our priority is to concentrate back on the league.
Paul, thanks for your honesty.
Cheers, Henry.
Thank you.
Cheers.